The Zoro fandom, I want to talk to you guys today. And I'm a part of the Zoro fandom, whether you guys believe it or not, which you should at this point, but I really don't care. But you guys need to have some shame. Like, you guys just need to relax with these Zoro and Luffy talks in 2024. Like, it's 2024, we can't keep doing this shit. There's times in the story where Zoro is close to Luffy in strength, and I'm willing to bet that trend is going to continue in the future of One Piece. But as it stands right now, y'all gotta just press the brakes for me just a bit, man. You guys just gotta stop. Zoro doesn't have to be close to Luffy at every given point in the story, and you just have to accept that.
It's ironic that a Sanji fan's saying this because he won't accept that Sanji is not close to Zoro.
Stop projecting your perceived generalized notions on every single human being, you sick fucks. One Piece is the only fandom I know that assumes your thoughts and takes based on who you like. So you're saying to yourself right now, I'm a Sanji fan, so obviously you probably think Sanji is very close to Zoro, so how can you even be talking about Zoro and Luffy? Just stop, man. That shit's weird. Please. And the reason why I'm even making this video, because at this current moment, the gap is the largest it's ever been between Zoro and Luffy. But yet, this is the time I'm seeing the most mental gymnastics to scale Zoro towards Luffy. People will match up Luffy and Zoro in a fight to prove their point that they are close or Zoro is actually stronger. I don't know why power scalers only view who's stronger based on if they fought each other, and not just who's overall stronger in the verse based on what they done and just their feats in the grand scheme of things. I made a video on this, by the way, if you guys want to go check it out. But either way, even if they do want to compare Luffy and Zoro in a one-on-one fight, Luffy is still cooking Zoro. No, but wait, superior. Luffy is vulnerable to slicing attacks. Wait, really? He is? Really? Wait, does this only apply to Luffy? No, stop. Every person is more vulnerable. Yo, what the fuck? I can't say that word. Vulnerable, there we go, to slicing attacks and blunt force attacks. Flesh isn't any better at taking slicing attacks, my brother. The reason why this is emphasized on Luffy because of his Devil Fruit. It constantly allows him to absorb damage. Slicing attacks make it harder for him to do that, basically ignoring his durability or his rubber factor. And they say Zoro being able to slice Luffy is some sort of win con or makes the fight close, as if Luffy isn't faster, stronger, better hockey, better stamina, better endurance, better clothes, better hose, better throw. Yo, what the fuck am I talking about? Yo, real talk though, Zoro fans, answer this question. Can we even comfortably say Zoro is above a non-Gear 4 and 5 Luffy? I personally think he is, but Zoro hasn't even overcome that hurdle yet. Like, we haven't seen anything that proves it. I say this because a non-Gear 4 and 5 Luffy with advanced Conqueror's Haki has showcased that he's able to fight a hybrid drunken Kaido really well. He's blitzing Kaido's Thunder Bagua, exchanging blows with him, splitting the sky, and taking very powerful attacks from Kaido. And he's just overall landing good blows on Kaido. Kaido even recognized his version of Luffy and said it's been a while since someone could truly fight him. So that version of Luffy can fight Kaido, who's in his hybrid mode, using his drunken modes, and Luffy got stamped by Kaido as worthy competition without even using Gear 4th or Gear 5. This version of Luffy has a better argument to be above Zoro, who hasn't even done anything comparable to this on screen. So if this version of Luffy can be argued above Zoro, imagine now adding Gear 4 and then adding Gear 5. The gap becomes kind of ridiculous in terms of strength. No, but a part of the Zoro fandom doesn't like to gauge strength this way. They like to use unquantifiable and ambiguous correlations, which we're all guilty of when it suits our agendas, even myself. I am a hypocrite. I know, I'll be completely honest. Bro, that's the difference between me and you guys. Like I'll say I'm doing this fuck shit, like you guys won't. You guys are trying to act like it's fact. Like I don't know what's going on. For example, some rebuttals they'll use to counteract what I just said. Oh, Rooftop Zoro was stronger than Luffy, and they both got advanced Conqueror's Haki, so Zoro should be stronger than a non-Gear 5 Luffy, making him potentially close to Gear 5. For one, assuming they both got the same amount stronger from Conqueror's Haki doesn't even make sense. Luffy is clearly a stronger Conqueror than Zoro, so his Conquerors is going to be stronger. He also specializes in Conqueror's Haki as well. The main reason why he was able to beat Kaido was with his Conqueror's Haki in the final clash. So there's that. Then you equate the Gear 5 amp on top of Luffy already being stronger with his Conquerors than Zoro. Gear 5 Luffy can be argued to be stronger than Kaido. That's a whole different debate that I won't get into. That's why I said could, even though I believe Luffy is definitely stronger. Gear 5 took Luffy from getting worked by Kaido, who locked in and killed him essentially, to making him on his level or even stronger. So this upscale from previous strength correlation correlations doesn't work, because Zoro can't even be proven to be stronger than this version of Luffy, which is fighting with his basic gears and Conqueror's Haki. And even if he was close to this version of Luffy, because they both got a Conqueror's Haki amp and Zoro was stronger prior, he's definitely not stronger or close to Gear 5 Luffy, which I just explained is on that level or stronger than Kaido. Second rebuttal to them being close is what's happening in Egghead. Egghead Zoro is close or even stronger than Luffy based on how he defeated Rob Lucci in one named attack versus Luffy, who used 3 named attacks. This is funny. Let's talk about it. So since I'm under the impression they both defeated Lucci relatively easy, and I know that's gonna stir the pot, and I know people are gonna be like, whoa, why would you even say that? Whoa, there's a truck going by. Why would you even say that? But listen, that's a whole different video that I'm not gonna get into. But to me, just know in this video, I think Zoro defeated him relatively easy. And I know that sounds crazy, but another video, another time. Trying to depict who defeated Lucci easier when they both demolished him, it's just not gonna work to try to upskill Zoro over Luffy. Luffy used 3 named attacks, and these attacks for some reason get hyped to the oblivion. Honestly, Gear 5 Luffy just be doing random shit and naming it most of the time, and I doubt he had an actual arsenal of Gear 5 attacks besides the strongest ones. Because the whole thing about Gear 5 is his creativity, him making shit up on the fly in the moment, and just because it's named, it doesn't mean it equates to it being necessarily really powerful. So the first attack that Luffy used on Rob Lucci that actually landed was Mole Pistol. And if we dissect what this attack actually is, it's Luffy putting his hand through the ground to hit Rob Lucci from beneath. And the most important part is that he's hitting him with the rubber surface. For what this attack is, I don't think it's supposed to be that strong. I doubt any Haki is even incorporated since Luffy's using the ground to hit him. The second attack that Luffy used was Booming Dawn Whip. And this is a legitimate attack that looks like there's some Ardaman Haki involved, and Lucci was still able to get up from it. There's this interpretation going around that Luffy is constantly using Advanced Conqueror's Haki in all of his attacks, regardless whether we see the lightning or not. Well, probably not for the previous attack we talked about because he didn't actually hit him. But yeah, the reason they believe this is simply because Oda isn't good at distinguishing when people are using the ability and with Gear 5, and for the fact that it was stated by Kaido that Luffy in Gear 5 is coated with Armament and Conquerors. Meaning if we can't see it, it's still there. There also is another way you could potentially interpret that, because you could say it's only referring to his body and him not necessarily incorporating Conquerors in all of his attacks. Since when Luffy first transformed, insane Conqueror's Haki was oozing off his body. Also, when Luffy was fighting Kizaru the first time, we didn't see Conqueror's Haki infused on his attacks. We only see it emphasized when Luffy finally needed to lock in when his Gear 5 timer was running out in order to put down Kizaru with White Star Gun. So it could make sense he's just referring to like his overall body just having Conquerors and Armament, but it's confusing. To be honest, it's a very interesting topic, but for the sake of this video, we'll assume Dom Booming Whip was coated with Conqueror's Haki. These attacks still don't compare to what Luffy hit Rob Lucci with right after. He used the Boom Dawn Rocket, and this attack fucked up Lucci and made him lose consciousness. So if we're being generous and assuming both of these attacks have Conqueror's Haki, it took mainly 2 attacks to take down Rob Lucci. The first one, like that attack is not serious, guys, let's be honest. So since it can be fair to say it took 1 less attack for Zoro to take down Lucci, and Zoro was using Conqueror's Haki in this attack, by the way. This is the logic, by the way, guys. I'm about to break down the logic. It's safe to assume one of Zoro's weaker attacks is stronger than both of these attacks. Or all 3 of them, fuck it. If Zoro's weaker attacks are stronger than Luffy's weaker attacks, that must mean Zoro's stronger attacks are potentially stronger than Luffy's stronger attacks, which is strange to think because we don't know how Rob Lucci would have reacted to if he only got hit by Booming Dawn Rocket. But just because one of Zoro's weaker attacks are stronger than 2 of Luffy's weaker attacks, does that mean they have comparable stronger attacks? Like, this is the same thing as the whole rooftop situation, like I just compared earlier. Them both getting a Conqueror's Haki app, meaning they're close. Like, how do you even come to that conclusion? That's not like a quantifiable measurement you can make, especially since we've seen Luffy's stronger attacks and what they're capable of, like Badgering Gun being able to overpower Kaido, and White Star Gun being able to knock out Kizaru and put him out of commission for a while. Luffy also simultaneously smushed 2 top tiers, turning them into pizza dough, spinning them on his fingers and dashing them. So like saying they have comparable stronger attacks, Zoro has to kind of prove that. Like, you can't just use this ambiguous scaling like I keep saying. By the way, even though Luffy quote unquote used 3 attacks, there was a clear difference on who had a bigger impact on Lucci. Oda made that quite clear by having Lucci literally say, "What insane power, I'm losing consciousness, can't hold on," while he quite literally had Lucci standing after Zoro's attack, able to still guard to some degree and was chatting all this nonsense at the Gorosei right after. Even though Lucci got up the same chapter he got knocked out by Luffy, Lucci needed to get bandaged up before he even got back into action. Even though Luffy used 3 attacks, Zoro used 1 that really put him down. It was portrayed that Luffy did a madness on this guy by Lucci, and Lucci was still talking nonsense after he got hit by Zoro. So like, I don't know. So like, using this fight as a representation of them being close or Zoro stronger does not make sense. Guys, just wave the white flag. He's your captain. Admit inferiority. It doesn't make you any lesser, man. I'm out this bitch. Sanji video next. Maybe just to apply some more damage on the wounds right now because people are probably coping and are mad at me. Whatever. Bye guys. Take care. Peace.